And
Get the fuck out of here.
And I had like $8,000 that was hidden in like this laptop case also.
God.
And but yeah, and then I go to my roommate.
Wait, this frat just robbed you of your laptop?
Yeah, because they knew that we were like up in Toronto, and then they just took whatever they could.
can't believe
But they didn't know you were a coke
Yeah, they
guy?
knew I was a coke dealer. That's why.
So what? But they just didn't find the cocaine?
They didn't find the cocaine.
So they're like, all right, we'll take the laptop.
Yeah, they took the laptop.
Our neighbor, the guy across washboard abs in the tour bus.
We did a gig once in Columbus, and we got into a fight with a woman at the airport because she was screaming at TSA. She was so fucking rude.
Yeah.
And we just started zinging her. We're like, fuck this lady. So we just started going at her, and we're
So
getting
you're roasting her like pro bono?
We're roasting her pro bono, and the TSA lady like loved us for it.
Yeah.
And then the lady turns to Gary and she goes,
She's
"Oh,
like,
yeah."
go ahead, sorry.
She goes, "Oh yeah, well you're short." And Gary's response is, "You should see me with my shirt off." I was like, we had her.
I know.
We had her on the ropes. What the hell?
It was 6 in the morning.
You let her get you, dude.
I was getting ahead of myself. And
You
then
should see with your
She
shirt
was a
off.
horrible person. She
Yeah.
was, and she had kids with her too. Terrible,
Oh,
terrible
that's-
person.
she's calling me like basically a little man, and I was like,
Sure.
and then I thought that was a good response. It was definitely not the best response. but
No.
I
You
tried.
had her. You had a bunch
but
of
here's
other
the thing.
stuff.
So we see her at like 6 in the morning for this. Like, we're at TSA, and you see this. She's just treating this person horribly. As soon as you see something.
By
like
the
that-
way, I'm sorry to interrupt. How much of a piece of shit do you have to be on the side of TSA?
I know.
I know.
That's crazy.
We felt bad.
That's insane.
No, we felt
the lady's
bad.
like, you guys want to bring in some explosives? Thanks for what you did up there. You want to just bring through a big gulp? I don't give a fuck.
But we can't we're not going to fight somebody physically, but verbally we could take somebody on. It's kind of like when a UFC fighter it just happens to be at a bodega that gets robbed, and
Right.
they save the day.
You're equally as heroic.
And exactly that's what I felt
Calling
like.
an overworked mother with an anger problem a fat bitch at 6 a.m.
In front of her
It's the
kids.
same as
You need
saving a Muslim family from getting their only piece of property, protecting their
As
only
we were
piece of
doing
property.
this, Al Shabaab walked through security because they were distracted. But, it's all right. We did our part.
Heroes.
No, she was a terror. I mean, you're
Yeah.
right. You have to be a bag of shit for us to side with
be
TSA.
on TSA
and she
side.
was so out of line.
Yeah.
Just clearly had anger problems and was just berating an overworked, miserable person.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's atrocious. And then just in the airport in general.
It was.
We've talked about it before. We've been friends for years, obviously, and we're basically going to do a better version of a Pod Don't Lie episode right now.
Yeah.
Because remember, we had you on. We were just
did it.
talking about it, and it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
your father's it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it started back in the 90s where he and we went to probably over like 50 games where I would impersonate a Sports Illustrated for Kids reporter. He would impersonate a Sports Illustrated for Kids photographer, and we just get into the garden completely for free.
Wow.
So, and without, so we wouldn't have tickets. Then I go into the locker room after the games and interview players, and I met
Insane.
Jordan, I met Mario Lemieux, I was at Rangers
That's your
games. I was
favorite
at the
hockey
Rangers
player
Stanley
ever,
game.
too.
Yeah, Mario Lemieux is my favorite hockey player. I was at, the Stanley Cup for
Jesus.
3 of the games. Sat Glass for Game 7.
And Gracie Mansion for the
Yeah.
Stanley Cup. He went to the fucking party.
Yeah, my dad didn't. So my dad, after getting into all this stuff, he never stopped. It was like he would always just push it to the limits. Where
Of course.
after going to the game and having access, but we went to the after party after the Rangers won the cup, and then when they celebrated at Gracie Mansion, and he got past the mayor's security detail, no
Insane.
problem. So he would just constantly. He just loved it. He loved the rush.
Yeah.
My dad's just a guy who never cared about consequences. So
Right.
usually that stops at like when you're like maybe going into like college or after college.
Right.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna settle down.
gotta get it
I'm gonna be
together.
a normal person.
Yeah.
My dad was like, this is how I'm gonna live my life, and everything that he did was he would try and con people.
That's why.
Yeah.
And so you grew up here in Jersey or in New York? Or
Long
where?
Island.
On Long Island?
Yeah.
So you grew up on Long Island, and this is like, we're talking what, like the early 90s?
Early 90s,
Early
yeah.
90s. So yeah, it is like it does feel like the last time you could talk your way through that. Like, you could still probably case by case con your way through, but the early to mid 90s, like, that seems like the last time. I mean, 9/11 probably is the true bam. Ever since
my
then,
dad was part of that too.
he was, yeah. He tried. He talked his way off the plane. He was like, "I'm just gonna parachute off here, boys. I'm gonna just drop me off where they're doing the X Games. I'm gonna parachute down." but that's like, that really is like, it's a beautiful.
Yeah, so there's a kid actually from Queens.
That's
I
some
don't even
hefty
know if
whores up there. That's a lot of lines you got to take. That's not a New York City line you got to take down to get pussy. That's a 185 gal. He's got a fat, thick rail. You're like, geez, take it easy.
They were all the people that I would sell to were all in like a fraternity or a sorority that I knew. So it was like there was probably a group of like
That's always the best.
400 kids.
Yeah.
And it was it seems safe. You know, looking back on it,
Yeah.
it wasn't smart.
Who was your connect? How'd you get?
There's a guy from Queens. Somebody put me in touch with him, and I think he was selling to other colleges. But then
Yeah.
he would come up to Buffalo, and somehow I got his information, and then he would drive it up from Queens.
Wow.
His name was Mike. Never got his last name.
Yeah.
And he would give me a quarter pound of Coke, and then I would sell him. I'd just bag it up, and I'd sell them as grams or like 20 bags, and then you just be, you know, every basically 3 weeks he would drive up again.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a nice little. What every
Nice
re-up?
little payment.
What every re-up get you? How much? What'd you make off a quarter?
Probably, I think it was something like the whole an ounce would sell for like $2,300, and I was wind up getting it for about like $700.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So yeah, and then
then
if you
selling
could do
a
that every
gram.
3
Yeah.
weeks,
Yeah.
you know, per ounce, you're doing pretty good.
That's not. And I'm guessing your studies. You didn't care about your studies too much at the time, or what?
No, I didn't care. I mean, I was making. I felt like I was like loaded.
Yeah,
you know,
of
especially
course,
in
dude.
college.
Oh, my
And then
God.
my mom, she didn't have any money, so like, and I was at a state school, so there wasn't like much of a tuition. But like, as far as like spending money, I'm like, oh, I could go out to a bar. I could just spend money.
This
you
is
know,
so much
going
better than
dates,
being poor.
Oh, absolutely. You're like, whatever. And then, but then you have to decide, like, do I want to continue to do this like,
Yeah.
after college?
I love the idea that you could.
It's
Yeah.
funny. It's like,
yeah.
like,
Do I
I'm
go
like-
pro?
I'm like, I'm making good money. I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I become Mike?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, the answer is yeah. I mean, it's like going up that ladder is scary.
Yeah.
The bottom of the drug ladder, like one step above the absolute
Because I
bottom,
could just give
is-
somebody up.
It's great. Exactly. Yeah. Well, no, not that. I mean, you're not even close to anything like that. Where it's like, I mean, that is kind of. You're right, Mike. You could have
Yeah.
gone, but I just mean like where you are, you're probably not getting caught. You know what I mean? You're selling to college kids. Like, I mean, they get caught, then you're fucked because they're
Yeah.
immediately snitching. But you're selling to within a circle of people. You're not really in any kind of deal that's scary. It's some guy you know who's just going to give you.
Right.
Maybe he rips you
That
off
stuff's not
You
once.
did have a
scary.
close call once, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, so my roommate at the time, we went up to like Toronto, and my roommate at the time, he like, I guess, locked himself out of the apartment like a few days before we left for Toronto, and he climbed through our window to get into our apartment. And this fraternity lived across the street, and they saw him get into our apartment in this way. He like moved the garbage can, got into the window,
no.
and then so we came back from Toronto, and we had an alarm, and it was going off, and my room, and it's like my door is knocked off the hinges, and this plate I had that I would chop up Coke with, it was just
Yeah.
like out, and my laptop was missing. They didn't find the Coke, which was hidden actually in my laptop case. And
Get the fuck
and I
outta
had-
here.
and I had like $8,000 that was hidden in like
Oh
this laptop
my
case also.
God.
And but yeah, and then I go to my roommate.
Wait,
I'm
this
like-
frat just robbed you of your laptop?
yeah, because they knew that we were like up in Toronto, and then they just took whatever they could.
can't
get in my
believe
But they
room.
didn't know you were a coke.
Yeah,
Coke
yeah, they
guy?
knew I was a Coke dealer. That's why.
So what? But they just didn't find the cocaine.
They didn't find the cocaine.
So they're like, all right,
And
we'll take the laptop.
yeah, they took the
Our
laptop.
neighbor, the guy across the street.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
So weird that
insane.
frat bros didn't do the right thing. It's really strange.
Yeah.
They came back and raped
It's
you.
like the frat.
They're like, yeah, they're,
frat oath.
yeah. In your you're like, huh, my Brita filter, the water looks cloudy. Well, I'm really thirsty from coming back from Toronto. Glug, glug, glug. And then you just wake up, the guy's fucking your mouth.
So I was-
Where's the cocaine, Gary?
So I was pissed because I just started writing jokes. Like, just started. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, let me like. Can I get my laptop back at least? I knew who
Right.
did it, but like I never got it back. But
you knew they had it.
There's nothing
we
funnier
had this
than
alarm going off, and I said to my roommate, I'm like, not only did this guy show them how to break in, but I'm like, so the alarm's going off. Why aren't like the cops here?
Yeah.
And he goes, I forgot to pay the bill for the alarm company, and I'm like, but that kind of saved me too because the cops would
Right.
have came in and
Searched
they would have seen
everything.
and they would have seen a plate full of cocaine.
someone
that was
came in
still
here and
there.
left cocaine,
Yeah,
took
I
a
know.
laptop and left cocaine.
I would have had nothing.
Yeah.
So that would have been the chance of like, all right, you know, and it's cops in Buffalo. I think like cops want to like fuck with a college kid.
Yeah, of
so they would take
course.
advantage of that.
Well, that's what I was
Oh,
gonna
I
say.
got
that
fucking handcuffed in college by cops, and they had a field day with me.
Yeah, dude.
They loved it.
There's no because like a campus cop is kind of the perfect intersection of like mall cop insecurity with
Yeah.
real
Oh, yeah.
cop power. And it's like, and then you give them college kids who it's like no one respects and no one should. It's perfect for a megalomaniac cop.
I dodged a similar bullet where I was a freshman just smoking a blunt on the street in New Orleans with college kids, and we're just we're getting high, we're drunk,
Yeah.
whatever. The cops pull up. It's like, what do you think's happening outside of fucking
It's
frat
New
house,
Orleans, yeah.
But we're getting pretty baked, and they handcuff all of us. We're in like a back alley. They're going through all of our shit. I aspiring comic. They pull my joke book out.
I remember this story.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they start reading my bits, and they sucked. I fucking stunk. So they're just laughing at me, and then.
But because of that, they didn't check your ass for the rest of the week.
No, what actually happened was they were like, after like torturing me for a couple minutes, all the fucking kids are laughing at how shitty my jokes are. They let us go, and one of the kids goes, "I had coke on me."
Wow.
So we dodged a bullet
by being such a.
I heard about that he stole, like he worked for like like an accounting firm, and he was a power of attorney for somebody.
Oh my God!
And he stole over $400,000, and he got arrested in the office. Yeah, and this was stuff like, there's certain things where it's like I couldn't prove because it's so far back.
Yeah.
But these are things that like would come up when I'd be like interviewing different people and be like,
How do you
So
not
you
get
went
the shit
deep,
kicked
huh?
out of you? How do you not get like, you know?
Well, those were things like he was asked. Like I had somebody that I interviewed. Where he goes, you know, like let me start with this. Is that one time we would go to Hershey Park, and we went to Hershey Park, and my dad was on the ride at Hershey Park, and there's like the Velcro strap that was part of the ride just like broke off, and he got off the ride and he starts complaining about his ribs. Goes to the hospital and everything. Winds up suing Hershey Park and made $50,000 off of this. So after that, we're like, this is what I believe my entire life happened. After that, I'm like, I'm interviewing a cousin recently for the podcast, and he goes, "Remember that thing that happened to your dad at Hershey Park?" Well, oddly enough, I was talking to him maybe, you know, a few years back, and I asked him, I'm like, "Did you ever get roughed up?" And he goes, "Yeah, one time back in the 90s, I got punched so hard I broke one of my ribs." And my cousin was the one. He's like, "Well, isn't that the same exact time as like the Hershey Park thing?" So he went. So in my cousin's mind, he went to Hershey Park with these broken ribs.
Yeah.
And then made this whole thing up so he could get a payout off.
Fully, I believe that.
Yeah.
A scammer sees a silver lining. It's like, wow, a guy finds out you've been stealing his pension, and he kicks the shit out of you. Hershey Park's paying for this.
That's so funny because
that
even
away.
like your childhood memories to an amusement park, it's tainted by him doing a con. Isn't that crazy?
That's it. Were you ever part of any other cons? I mean, the big con obviously
The
is
big con
the
is the
Sports
Sports
Illustrated
Illustrated,
kid. But did he
yeah.
ever use you in any?
The only other things would be like we would go if we. I remember we were in a car once. It got hit from behind, you know, and it's like he's like, "My neck hurts. Your neck hurts too, right?"
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like so.
yeah.
Then you go in, then you
Insane.
So you could file a claim with Geico. You know, every time we would go to the movie theater, never. I mean, it's little, but it's like you're always sneaking in. You're never not going to pay for a ticket, and it's like, can we pay for a ticket? It's the same thing as like, can you be my dad?
Of
Can you
course.
pay for a ticket? And I'm like, he's like, no, Gary. He's like, you got to sneak under the ropes. And I'd sneak under the ropes, and I'd be like down like the hallway, and then he'd go up to the usher, and he'd be like, my kid's over there. Look, he's the one who has our tickets, and then my dad would get in too for free. And it's like, I mean, we did this. We of course we'd see all his movies. I saw Child's Play at 5 years old. You know.
Oh my God!
I've seen
He's
Child's
not even
Play,
taking a
I've
seat.
seen Child's Play, Tremors, Rambo. I mean, these are the movies that he's taking me to go see.
What else? You had some others. That
What
were good.
the fuck?
Oh yeah, me and Beverly Hills Cop. It's like everything. It's like,
Did he ever use your sisters in a con? Do you know?
as far as I know, it's like it would just be little stuff. It's like my sister. She talks about this, but she got hit with a lacrosse stick. She was running track, and she was on the road. They were doing like a cross country training thing, and these kids came by in high